What's your take? Where do you think things start to open back up? Where do you see businesses going in the next 12 months?
I think there's still going to be a very slow ramp up pace. I think some industries will be fine. I think you're at bell curve, right? So the bell curve of this was accelerate to, you're going to see things accelerating to things that were 5 and 7 years early. But I think you're going to see a lot of people, vaccines or not, right? From a bell curve perspective, you're going to see the early adopters that are like, screw it, let's go. I'll do whatever. But I think you're going to see a lot of in those in-betweeners where they're kind of like leaning there or not, right? So, baseball season has started. Some stadiums are open more than others. I think even though things are open, I question whether or not those stadiums, even in the NFL in a couple of months, where capacity will look at those things. I think you could. My prediction as of right now is open up those things, and you're still not even going to see full capacity because I think you're going to see a lot of people still a little hesitant on stuff. Let's make sure we get through this first type of thing. And so, because I'm hearing stuff like, Texas is open, no mask, whatever, yet everyone apparently is still wearing a mask, right? Because I think people are taking this seriously. So from mass, things, I think just because things are open doesn't mean that they're going to see, personally, I don't think you're going to see record-breaking numbers in 2021 from the masses perspective.
So you don't think that there's going to be a YOLO type moment this summer when?
No, I do, but I don't think that will. I think those are going to be, the early Q1s of that, and I think a lot of people are going to be very, they're going to open up. You're going to have barbecues with 12, 15 people, not, big numbers. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a ton of people go to the amphitheater when they open back up to 20,000 people. I think you're going to see 10,000 person crowds. I think that's what's going to happen. And that's outdoors. Indoors, I think you're going to see it even worse, right? I think it's going to take a steady thing, because here's why. The frequency of, hey, you really got to worry about this thing was hammered down so deep that I think it's going to take a lot of people a lot of time to feel comfortable in the masses.
Yeah, that's concerning to me, just because we've been so programmed to have fear. I mean, everyone's walking around afraid. But on the flip side, if you look at things from an optimistic standpoint, I mean, we're close to 4 million shots a day, something like that. Where once you hit
400 million shots have been administered.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing 4 million shots a day, you're doing over 1% of the population. And if you look at, I don't know what the population is of those that are 16 and older, but from a vaccination standpoint, we're getting close. We're getting close to the end.
But I think that's the question, right? It's like, okay, so you have a vaccination. Everyone has the vaccine. Doesn't that mean you open up? To me, I don't know. I don't understand a life outside of that, right? It doesn't make sense. Like, we're getting this so that things can open back up. Why wouldn't you do that? I welcome the opportunity to hear a different thing, but otherwise, if we're not going to go back to, hey, things are open, then why would people go through any of that?
So you're a marketing guy, and you help a lot of businesses get out there, get there and be heard, be seen. What are you telling businesses now that they should be doing in preparation for the post-vaccine once we get over the hump?
Ooh. I mean, a lot of it has been, hey, like, have a very large digital presence that you feel comfortable with. Let people, continue to talk to people through all this, and don't stop through that, right? So the message before is still the message now. It's like, hey, just because you're not open to the capacity that you could be doesn't mean that you really need to slow down in that capacity. So if you used to, email your email newsletter once a week in that kind of frequency, make sure to still do that. If you need to start throwing in there, like, hey, like, I'm going to be open, and you're going to slowly roll that out, let people know that you're open for business, right? It's the same thing as if, I don't know, Metallica. I don't know why I said Metallica, but let's say Metallica was going to go on sale. Metallica was going to go on tour, right? They're going to let people know, hey, we're going to be going on tour soon. So if you're going to be doing something different, you need to be talking to the people that are already in your network, already your fans, and being like, yo, we're about to do this thing, ramp up, tease it, get people excited about it. And then when tickets go on sale or your new thing comes out, let the world know about it. I don't know that there's actually like a post, COVID world in that kind of case where you should have been doing these things overall, right? Mm-hmm. So I was doing a once a week newsletter. Guess what? Every week I still put out once a week newsletter, right? I didn't stop that. I'm not going to stop that just because I'm doing something slightly different, right? That was a thing that worked for me then. It's going to work for me now. If you are doing an event or you have a physical place, people are going to want to know, at the beginning of this, people were like, are you clean? Or what are you doing from a measure standpoint? If you need to reintroduce that, then let people know that, right? Yeah. But at the same time, people need to know that you're open for business and you need to market that you're open for business. I think people forget the amount of frequency that is necessary to be seen
100%.
Over and over and over again. Yep. And so if you think that you're going to tell someone once, hey, I'm open, and that's it, that will work for some. But it ain't going to work for everyone.
Yeah.
Push that out over and over again.
And and I'll be honest, I suffer from that as well, that I hear myself say the message over and over and over again, but that has nothing to do with even the people that are closest to me. They may hear it once or twice out of the 100 times that I say it. And that's a message that everybody needs to hear. And I tell everybody, and I try to take my own medicine in, is if you're not tired of telling the story, then you haven't told it enough. And then you need to keep on telling it. So,
I think that old mechanisms are going to come back hardcore too. And what I mean by that is I think everyone has gotten so, if there's any kind of change that's going to happen in the next, that you're going to see, it's that the digital world is going to have some sort of detox, and you're going to see old school mechanisms really thrive in the immediacy of the next few months.
And I'm not, as you know, I'm not on Facebook very much. I just kind of got burnt out from the whole thing, especially before the election. And I'll sneak back in every once in a while.
There was an election?
Yeah, I mean, it's who would have think that that's like 2 lifetimes ago. But yeah, I think that there's already been a little bit of a detox, certainly from a Facebook standpoint. It's not nearly.
So I'll go even deeper and say, I think people are going to pick up the phone more. I think people are going to, I do think you'll see more people networking. You will see people get out and network and things like that more than before. But I don't want people to confuse what I said before about the masses. I still think it's going to, it's going to take time to see that up. But I do think old school things will come back. So, we'll see. I think people are going to use the phone a lot more. I think you're going to have to find ways through like your mailbox. You have to, send more mail and things like that. Getting that frequency in front of someone, different style of ads are going to become very popular. And I don't think digital is going to be the immediate runaway winner in that where it was, this time 12 months ago.
Yeah. I definitely see, I think that there's going to be a lot of acquisitions that take place.
Yeah, that stuff hasn't happened yet, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of business owners are probably really tired. They're happy that they survived. From a purchaser standpoint, money is still relatively cheap. And so I think that bulls are going to do a lot of buying. And I think that people that are tired are going to do a lot of selling. I
think also when you start looking at what your business might be worth, because you had to do so much financial paperwork for some of these things, I think you realize, oh, that's interesting.
We haven't even touched that yet.
I can't even get. What do you mean?
Just in terms of what taxes are going to look like from a business.
Oh, but what I was saying is this, like, okay, like this is how much money I can get from someone. I had to do a lot more financial records this year because, a lot of the stuff that was asked for was a little different, if you will. Right. And I think people look at that and they go, well, if someone's willing to give me 3 to 5x that, maybe I should take it, right? So that's interesting. I also agree there's going to be quite a bit of acquisitions. I also think you're going to see businesses that will just close, and that's going to happen. That would have happened anyway. What will be interesting from that is you had such a big land grab globally over the last 20 years, where there's basically no issue whatsoever, right? People are building on top of building, a lot of co-working spaces out there, in any downtown across the country. You just saw a lot of stuff being, invested in and built. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that kind of stuff, right? Does co-working become something that works?
Right. I mean, we've definitely, and we've been saying this for the past year, that things have accelerated 5 to 7 years really, really quick. So it'll be interesting what happens with the co-working space.
Been directly involved within our entrepreneurial community for years. And the most common question I get is, Tim, I want to get involved, but I don't know what events I should attend. Well, Startwheel eliminates that pain point because we consolidate all the events you should attend into a single calendar. Now you'll be in the know and see where to spend your time. Gone is the need to search multiple websites and calendars. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.